Now, factoring is great and everybody loves factoring, but what if it's not factorable? See, look at this guy. He is not factorable. That's why the directions are telling you to use the quadratic formula. But if you tried to factor this, you would realize there's no other way to do it. X squared plus 3x minus 9 equals 0. Once we get equal to 0, you can analyze that dude. No, I cannot factor it. Okay, so what is the quadratic formula? Now, we derive the quadratic formula using completing the square and stuff. All right, I'm just going to give you the formula straight up because that's not what we do in Algebra 2. That's what you do in Algebra 1. So, I remember it not by a stupid song, by a silly story. The silly story goes like this. It's an extreme story about a negative boy. The negative boy got invited to a party. This was a radical party that he couldn't decide whether or not he wanted to go to. So the square boy missed out. That's right, he missed out. The square boy missed out on 4 awesome chicks. And instead, stayed up all night until 2 a.m. playing video games. That's why I guess you might call him a square. But now we just call them super nerds. But anyways, again, let me tell you, this was an extreme story all about a negative boy. The negative boy couldn't decide whether or not he wanted to go to this radical party. And so the square boy missed out on 4 awesome chicks. And these were awesome chicks. And instead, he stayed up all night until 2 a.m. playing video games. Now, a side note to make is that the square boy missed out on 4 awesome chicks. Maybe you call it discriminatory. I don't know. But that is the discriminant right inside there. We'll get to him later. All right, so how do we use the quadratic formula? In order to use the quadratic formula, you must know the standard quadratic polynomial form, which looks like this. The a is next to the x squared, the b is next to the x term, and then the c is your constant. So once you know the a, b, and the c, you can plug them in. I can just plug them in? Yes, you can just plug them in. And so I plug them in. I have negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 awesome chickies all over 2 a.m. Now let's plug stuff in. What is the A? No, I'm sorry, the B. I need the B. It's 3. And then I put the B right here also. And then what about the A? Awesome chickies. The A, yeah, the A is right here. The A is, yep, it's definitely a 1. And then what is my C? The C is the constant, which is negative 9. So I plug that in right there, and I plug the A in down below as well. And then when I solve the quadratic formula, when I simplify it, I always go partying first because I know I can get that one right. 3 squared is 9 minus, what is, oh, that's a negative 4, right? Right. What is negative 4 times 1 times negative 9? That is positive 36. People always mess up that negative. Don't mess up that negative. And that equals the square root of 45. Now let's simplify this stuff so everything looks prettier. We have negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 45 all over dose. Looks like that square root of 45 can be simplified because I can divide 45 by a perfect square known as nueve. That's the 9. Don't make fun of my Espanol. I'm very bad at speaking it. Please excuse. So I have a 3 square root of 5 and then a dose. Did you guys know this is 2 answers? Yeah, the plus and the minus. There's 2 answers right here. We have a negative 3 plus 3 square root of 5 divided by 2. And we have negative 3 minus 3 square root of 5 divided by 2. So these 2 answers are the 2 x-intercepts of this quadratic function. Whoa, those are funky wonky x-intercepts. All right, so here's the function. I just threw it in my graphing calculator. If I hit graph, check it out. Boom, there it is. This is our parabola. What do you guys suppose these x-intercepts are? Ooh, I don't know. Here, let's do what we did earlier. Okay, what was it? Negative 3 plus 3 times square root of 5. So I go square root of 5, and I'm gonna say enter. And then I'm going to divide that by dose. So what do we get? 1.8541. Ooh, I wonder which x-intercept that is on this thing. Let's find out. I'm going to use this cute little function here called calc. And see it says 0 right there? I'm going to find zeros on this thing. And I'm going to tell my calculator, I want you to find a 0 between this spot and this spot. I have to do that. I have to pick a lower bound and an upper bound because the calculator is going to use this fancy schmancy algorithm that we use in calculus to find this guy right here. So if I hit enter right here, it's going to guess what my x-intercept is. And what is it, my students? 1.854. Which is the same as what we got, right? Wow. Oh my goodness. What about the other one? Let's try it. -3 minus 3 times the square root of 5. Enter. And then I have to divide that by 2. Hey, it's negative. Should it be negative? Let's find out. We go to the graph, and we're going to use our fancy schmancy tool yet again. Let's find the 0. So I'm going to press 2. I got to pick a left bound. So I got to pick something, an x value, a point on the left side. Whoa, it's going really far down. Okay, there we go. On the left side of my x-intercept, let's go right there. And I got to pick one on the right side of my x-intercept, so I picked right there. And then I say enter to guess. Boom. -4.8541. Yay. It works. The quadratic formula didn't fail.
Does it matter?